In the last video, we saw how to create strings and learned about the escape characters for quotes. Now we'll see some other escape characters that we can use in JavaScript strings. So for instance, the backslash itself needs to be escaped because the backslash special meaning is itself escaping. So for instance, if we had something like a path on a Windows computer, the path uses backslashes to delimit the folders in its path. We might have something like c:\folder / my file.txt. So let's do a console.log with our path. If we refresh our page, if we look at our string, we see it's not what we wanted. It's c:\older myfile.txt, which is not what we wanted. So what can we do? Well, let's go back to our JavaScript file, and we can actually see that TextMate is highlighting the backslash and F and the backslash and M. That's because the backslash and the next character define what character we're escaping inside of our strings. So if we actually look back in our output from our browser, we'll notice not only are the backslashes missing, but the F is missing from folder. And that's because \F has a special meaning inside of a string. There are only a few backslash escape characters that we really need to worry about, but right now let's just focus on getting our backslashes into our string. To add a literal backslash into a string in JavaScript, all we need to do is do \\. Though it appears there are 2 backslashes in our string, it will only be displayed as 1 when we actually use our string. We'll do the same thing for our other backslash by adding another backslash. So now if we save out our strings.js and return to our browser and refresh, we'll see that the string now contains the characters that we want, including our backslashes and that missing \F. Now what if we want to create a string with multiple lines? Well, let's try to do that. We'll create a variable called multiline. And we want our string to say this is line 1, then this is line 2, and finally this is line 3. So we might expect this to work and create a string with 3 lines in it. But if we save it out and refresh, we get another syntax error. And that is because we cannot create a string that spans multiple lines in JavaScript. The closing quotation mark must come on the same line as the opening quotation mark for it to be a valid string. So if we try to smash all these together and save it out and we refresh, it will work. And let's do a console.log to see what the actual result is. We can refresh and see that we get a string that's all on one line. We can make the string multiple lines by using another special character. In order to create multiple lines inside of our string, the character we're going to use is called a newline character. And all we do to use this is figure out where we want our line to break. And for instance, our first line will break right after the character 1 and before the this. And we insert our character by doing \n. So if we save this out and we refresh it, we'll see now our string contains 2 lines. And we can easily make this 3 lines by just including another special newline character where we want our line to break. So if we save this out and refresh, we now have a 3-line string exactly like we wanted it. Now there's one more special character that we use fairly regularly, and it's the tab character. And this is the character that would normally be inserted when you hit the tab key on your keyboard. To insert a tab, all we do is \t, and a new tab character will be inserted into our string in its place. So if we refresh, we can see now a tab character appears between this and is on the 3rd line of our string. So now we've seen how to create strings in JavaScript. In the next video, we'll see how to join strings together to create new strings.